He sat down, a broad, confident smirk on his face, ready to perform. Jimmy Kimmel, for his part, was not the man the audience was used to. His usual comedic, laid-back demeanor was gone, replaced by the calm, focused intensity of a seasoned journalist. He was not there to tell jokes. He was there to get answers. For the first 20 minutes, the interview was a tense but predictable spar. Vance dodged, weaved, and boasted. Kimmel patiently fact-checked, refusing to let the politician's familiar deflections slide. The audience could feel the pressure building. The flashpoint came when Kimmel pivoted to a topic Vance has always used as a pillar of his public character, his relationship with Trump. In 2 minutes, J.D. Vance gave what I believe we may look back on as his defining political speech. This was his longest monologue since taking office. He went on and on. You could have left his speech, watched 2 episodes of a documentary series, come back, and he would still have been going. And, to kick things off, Vance went to one of his signature moves to start it. And I know there's a lot of competition, but I think this might be the most awkward thing he does. Mr. Senator, Kimmel began, his voice even and precise. You have often, and especially recently, presented your relationship with Trump as a model of loyalty and commitment, a source of your political stability and strength. You sell it as a core part of your public brand. Vance nodded proudly, beaming at the audience. That's right, Jimmy. A great alliance, a wonderful, incredible mentor. The best. And we have a strong partnership. People love that. They respect it. It's a very strong relationship, a guiding force, and it's what gives you the stability to lead. But the late-night host did not let the praise go unchecked. He challenged Vance on every claim with precision and calm authority. He systematically walked through Vance's contradictory statements from past interviews, pointing out inconsistencies and political reversals, leaving the audience both shocked and impressed. Kimmel played the old clips from Vance's author era, where he criticized Trump harshly, calling him manipulative, self-serving, and even questioning if Trump was fit for office. Then Kimmel played the modern clips of Vance defending Trump unwaveringly, endorsing every policy, and excusing every misstep. As Kimmel pointed out, when your own archive completely undermines your current narrative, you do not have a messaging problem. You have a massive credibility problem. J.D. Vance traded integrity for political advantage, and Kimmel made sure every viewer understood the exact consequences of that transaction. But the exposure went far beyond mere political flip-flopping. Kimmel focused on the real-world impact of Vance's statements, specifically highlighting the Springfield, Ohio incident. You likely remember the baseless internet rumor that Haitian immigrants were abducting and harming pets. It was the kind of social media nonsense that should have been ignored by serious adults. Instead, J.D. Vance amplified the claim to a national audience. Local authorities, including the Republican mayor of Springfield and the Republican governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, all publicly confirmed that the allegations were false and that no such crimes were occurring. Yet, Vance continued repeating the falsehood. When pressed on national television about why he was spreading a debunked rumor, Vance actually admitted that if he had to fabricate stories to get media attention, he would consider it a valid tactic. Attention, he would do it. Kimmel dismantled this narrative with surgical precision. He illustrated for his audience how the falsehood spread from a random social media post to the highest levels of political campaigning, triggering bomb threats and school evacuations in a quiet Midwestern town. He criticized Vance for acting as if he had solved a monumental crime while simultaneously endangering his own constituents just to score cheap political points and generate viral attention. Kimmel reminded the nation of a fundamental principle. You do not get to set your neighbor's backyard ablaze and then run around complaining about the heat. By presenting the facts, local reporting, and official statements, Kimmel performed exactly what satire at its finest always achieves. He stripped away the theatrics and held the uncomfortable truth up for public scrutiny. He provided the basic journalistic verification that so many traditional news anchors are suddenly too cautious to demand. Beyond the Springfield incident, Kimmel also demolished Vance's preferred deeply alienating culture war narratives. For months, Vance has leaned heavily into his bizarre, derisive commentary about childless citizens, implying that Americans without biological children have no genuine stake in the future of the country. It is a profoundly dismissive stance that ignores the contributions of millions of hardworking, patriotic individuals, including teachers, nurses, veterans, and everyday citizens who dedicate their lives to strengthening America. Kimmel cut straight through the arrogance of that claim by highlighting the obvious truth. He reminded Vance that the United States is a constitutional republic, not a social hierarchy determined by family status. A citizen's value and contribution to civic life are not measured by their birth certificates or family choices. Kimmel emphasized how lazy and unimaginative it is for a politician to attack personal lives simply because his own policies cannot withstand scrutiny. It was a moment of clarity that resonated with voters across the political spectrum, showing that authentic conservative values are rooted in personal responsibility and respect for individual liberty. J.D. Vance's response to being fully debunked on national television followed the classic two-step of a cornered politician. First, he claimed he was the victim of media bias. Then, he doubled down on the very behavior Kimmel had criticized. Vance could not accept that his ratings narrative was demolished by Kimmel's massive audience, nor could he tolerate having his own past statements weaponized against him. There is a clear reason politicians fear video clips more than clever insults. Insults eventually fade, but a clip showing you contradicting your own words endures. Every time Vance lashed out instead of acknowledging his contradictions, he only reinforced the exact portrait Kimmel painted of him, a politician who will say anything, amplify any falsehood, and attack anyone to remain in the spotlight. This entire episode is a stark reminder of the times we live in. When a late-night talk show host must serve as the nation's primary fact-checker because the government is actively threatening broadcast networks with censorship, democracy is entering perilous territory. We need leaders with the integrity to uphold the truth, not those willing to fabricate stories to manipulate the public. Jimmy Kimmel demonstrated that bullies can be exposed and defeated when you shine a bright light on their tactics and refuse to be intimidated by government pressure. The American people are not naive. They can discern between a genuine leader and a man who simply recites whatever script is handed to him on any given day.